Ensure Nugenix Total T2, crafted with a unique new formula that combines the ultimate free and total testosterone booster with a powerful nitric oxide booster that starts working in just 3 hours with continued benefits over time. Feel like a new man, leaner, stronger, with more energy and drive.
Oh, yeah, we are so back.
Text STREAK to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2. We'll even throw in a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. That's STREAK to 215-215. STREAK to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant and a proud partner of the Crimson Tide. For more information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are thoughts from baseball head coach Rob Vaughn after this weekend's series at Kentucky.
And guess what? We played bad this weekend. We didn't play good enough. We deserved what we got this weekend, but my message to them was just, man, if you start believing it, if you start caring what people on the outside think, man, it's not going to go great. Like, play for the dude next to you. Keep showing up for the guy next to you. And, man, they fought. I'll give them that. You look back at the weekend, it's just, there wasn't much we did well. You know, we didn't throw the baseball great. We didn't defend the baseball good at all. We didn't hit with runners in scoring position great. And that's what happened. So to me, it's like we got to acknowledge where we fell short and not make any excuse about everything. But, man, stick together and show up on Tuesday against a good South Alabama team and be ready to compete.
I'll have more in a moment.
This year, we honor the most important anniversary ever. An event that reshaped civilization as we know it. A day that would lead to something so flawless that nothing could ever really compare. People have tried to match it, but have failed. This year, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of Guthrie's, the home of the original chicken finger. Just talking about it gets me all choked up. And hungry for a chicken finger. Guthrie's, an original obsession for 60 years.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show, presented by Alpha Insurance, live at 6 p.m. Central from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. You can listen to Hey Coach across our full radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as watch the video stream, streaming live on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team is to play with USSSA Softball. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but for recreational softball tournaments all around the area, as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, the USSSA National Championship this year is at the Gulf Shore and Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. Now, for more information, visit alfastpitch.uSSSA.com. That's alfastpitch.uSSSA.com.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
More exciting than breakfast and a lot more enjoyable to cook, brunch is ideal for sharing.
Brunch with the Big Dog, the Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays starting at 10 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Monday edition of The Drive. Good to have you in. Steve Moulton flying a solo today. Well, sort of.
I'm
Brian
right
Temple.
here.
Yeah, Brian, I know I said that right in front of you.
Right here.
Brian Temple.
Well, the speaker right in front of me.
Is back at the ranch. Yes, I am down in Fort Lauderdale. And as we speak, I will try to turn on fans and point them due northwest and try to get some of this warm weather up to Huntsville. Heard it snowed today.
Yeah, the pictures of palm trees
Huntsville
is not helping at all, Steve.
Well, that's right outside the window. And the reason I'm still down here is because the UH Charger men are still dancing for the 9th time in school history, made it to the Sweet 16 and taking on some team called Nova tomorrow night. And all they've done is won 104 games in a row at home. So we got that going for us. There is a little bit of breaking news. Just got an email from the University of Alabama Athletics Communication Department in regards to one of their student athletes. And yes, if you're guessing it's Aiden Holloway, you would be correct. He was arrested on marijuana charges. This is the full statement that was released as of 9 minutes ago. The university is aware of the allegations and is working to gather more information. The student has been removed from campus pending further investigation by the University of Alabama Office of Student Conduct. And that's the full statement. So I would assume, as it stands as of 5:02 on March the 16th, that Aiden Holloway, not a member of the Alabama basketball team, just from that statement from the University of Alabama. So that is significant because of how big of a role Aiden Holloway did play for the Crimson Tide this year. They dared to earn a 4 seed. Now, something that I would like to offer everybody out there as a service. I do have access to some of the research department at ESPN and the Worldwide Leaders, since we are fine affiliates here in the great state of Alabama. I thought I'd share with the class. Not sure if you get this from any other show on this particular radio station, but since we do have a bracket challenge, and by the way, I'm glad I brought that up. If you'd like to join our bracket challenge, head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the Tournament Challenge bracket page. And it's, of course, sponsored by Talent Heating and Air. Appreciate those fine folks. I would imagine the air conditioner and the heater is getting a workout right now.
Both in the same day.
Yeah. Welcome to springtime in Alabama. The grand prize, I believe it's a membership over at Cherokee Ridge. So I know Cherokee Ridge playing a role as well in our tournament challenge, but just click on that link of that picture that was made by, I'm guessing, John Abraham. There's a picture of a Florida basketball player, an Alabama basketball player, a Houston basketball player, Tennessee basketball player. Just click on that link. It's very well done, John. Just click on that link and join our group. And I think the closeout time is Thursday morning before the full big first day starts. So, and speaking of Thursday, again, I'm glad I mentioned Thursday. Thursday, the big first full day of the tournament, I'll be back at home. It's been a week. I'll be down here for a week, but they're a worse place to spend a week than Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But I'll be back home. In fact, on Thursday, quite a few of us, maybe even you, Brian Temple. No, you probably have the point with, Bill Crawford there from 2 o'clock.
2 to 4.
Yeah, 2 to 4 over.
I'll be with you in
exactly
spirit because
right.
you guys are going over to field day.
That's right.
To have a great afternoon of basketball. And I understand they're going to load up the prize closet and take it over there.
That we are indeed. In fact, some prizes as well from Field Day themselves, right off the University Drive, basically right across the street from Topgolf. They're on, I know it used to be Rideout Road, Research Park Boulevard, whatever they're calling it this week. So we'd love to see you out there on Thursday, and not sure of the exact, I would assume the start time is going to be the start time of the games of when we're going to be out there. The start time of coverage from Westwood One, which you'll be able to hear right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, begins at 11. There's a first round show that begins at 10, but we'll be out there by 11 and be out there all day long. So come on by. I would imagine not a lot of work is going to get done Thursday or Friday, especially Friday. Alabama plays on Friday. We'll have that coverage for you as Alabama takes on Hofstra there in their matchup. They're in the Midwest bracket. In fact, yesterday, this was before we knew the news about Aiden Holloway. This is what Nate Oates had to say on that 4 seed in the Midwest bracket. Talk to me, Nate.
To be in the tournament again. Obviously, we not happy with our performance up in Nashville, but that's past. It's gone. We can't change it. We can learn from it, which hopefully we have. I thought we had a good day with the guys today. We just got some shots up, some skill work, not knowing who we're going to play till tonight. We didn't want to have a full-out practice till we had day opponent and all that. So love the Friday in Tampa draw. Hofstra's good. I can't say I love the draw. I think obviously they very good guards. They had Strata, who took us to a Final Four. They've got 2 very good guards again. Kid Cruz Davis, one of the best mid-major guards in the country. I watched their championship game against Monmouth. I think Speedy Claxton's one of the better mid-major coaches in the country. I'm sure he'll be brought up this offseason, the next one, for jobs to move up. He's done an unbelievable job. He does a really good job getting good players in there and developing them. He's got 2 now. I think Cruz is player of the year in that conference, and I think the freshman Preston, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, Ed Mead, but that kid's good. I think he was a freshman of the year. So if you watch that, I don't know how many of you guys are basketball junkies and watch these games, but when we got knocked out Friday and I didn't know who we were going to play next, I kind of went back just being a basketball fan and watching a bunch of these games, and this is one that interests me. I was a mid-major coach. We had some battles. You have those years in the MAC where you got to win it to go, and these guys won the tournament, and they're in the NCAA tournament. They're going to be fighting for their lives, and I got a lot of respect for a program like Hofstra. So we're going to have to come in and take them super serious. We're going to have to be ready to go. We're going to have to manage the week a little bit better than we managed last week, in my opinion. We played Saturday and then not till Friday. Now we're going to play Friday and then Friday. So, we've got a week off, but we can't take a week off. We took Saturday and then very light today, just a lot of skill. Tomorrow we're going to have to get after it a lot more than what we've done last week. We need the guys sharp. We need them to be able to play. The coaches are working right now on getting a really good game plan together on Hofstra, and we'll come in tomorrow morning with a really good plan. And it's going to be tough. They got a really good backcourt, and I got to get. I haven't watched a ton. They gave me a brief. Our staff was good. They had done a brief scouting report on the potential 13 seeds. Hofstra was one of them. So they had a little bit of a head start, but we didn't want to go all in on all the possibilities with how much volatility there is in Selection Sunday. But they got me enough a heads up. I mean, they don't play that fast. They kind of control tempo, but they're top 40 in 3-point percentage, borderline top 100 in 3-point rate. They get a decent amount of threes up. They're good on both sides of the ball. Top 100 in offense and defensive adjusted efficiency on KenPom. So, shoot, their effective field goal percentage is borderline top 50 on defense. It's hard to do that at that level. So their 2-point percentage defense pretty good too. So we I mean, it's, this is a good team. I mean, they're third in the country in 2-point percentage defense. So their effective field goal percentage is top 10. My fault. So I'm looking at it right now. So this team's good. We're going to have to play a lot better than we did at Friday night up in Nashville.
Nothing quite like Nate Oates, the math teacher, that kind of seeps through there a little bit, but he's a very analytical guy, and honestly, you cannot really disparage him at all because of the level of success that he has brought to Tuscaloosa more than anything. 256-576-4977 is the telephone number. Now, I did tell you I would offer you some of the ESPN research advice. And I have not filled out my bracket. I don't know if you filled out your bracket, but for me, remember, I believe we have till Thursday morning. I would like to believe. I know that's been the case, although I did notice this it wasn't from Ross Dellinger, the potential of, now the bubble is weak. This bubble this year was weak, but it's kind of like the man behind the curtain a little bit. Never mind that man behind the curtain. They wanted the storyline of, well, if you didn't, how about we just have Auburn play Miami of Ohio? Well, that's expanding the field. If you were to expand the field, this is what it would look like. Your extra games would be Auburn versus San Diego State, Indiana versus Oklahoma, Oklahoma State versus Virginia Tech, and Arizona State taking on California. Now, the ones that are already in and kind of the last ones, this bubble was so weak that I really never understood the argument of Miami of Ohio versus Auburn, Miami of Ohio versus Auburn, because honestly, down the stretch, I thought Oklahoma had a bigger argument more than that, especially considering that head-to-head win. And Bruce Pearl is getting eviscerated on social media for his talk there on CBS, in case you didn't hear.
Tournament. Auburn beat three champions this year. They beat Florida, they beat St. John's, and they beat Arkansas. They played the toughest schedule in the country. Don't know if they were rewarded for it. It's hard to get another couple of SEC teams in when the SEC already has 10. Yeah. SEC tournament.
So that's what he is getting raked over the coals about more than anything. I'll get to the research. By the way, coming up tonight over on the campus of UIH, you got a Sweet 16 matchup. The first time in program history that the Charger women are dancing into the Sweet 16, and they've got a home game hosting a regional as well, and they'll take on Eckerd tonight over at UIH. Eckerd has looked awfully impressive. But that's a game that you'll be able to hear right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I think Joe Hunk and Austin Coletti and maybe even Scott Tyson will be on that call tonight over at Sports Med Arena. All right, he's called in. You can call in too, 256-576-4977. Jeff in the borough. Where you been, Jeff?
Well, some people don't want me on the show, but that's all right. But I looked over the brackets a little bit.
Yep.
I don't think we can tell you got. I guess the right seed. Doesn't really matter now. You got to go play, but I think I'd have put them over Tennessee, considering they beat Tennessee twice. But it is what it is. So, but I think Miami of Ohio playing in the first four is an insult. I think they should not be in the first four. But
well, that's more of a issue with the strength of schedule for Miami of Ohio. More than anything.
You win them all when you're undefeated.
They didn't win them all. They didn't win them all.
I'm saying we always get the conference tournament. When you go 31-1, I don't care who you play. Okay, this business of, well, you didn't play nobody. Oh, well, I'm sorry. You put Auburn in the MAC and you put in the SEC, and Auburn might go undefeated. And they might say the same thing about, well, Miami, Ohio should be in and Auburn shouldn't be. It flips switch conferences. They don't talk about that. which conference on people. Like Bruce Pearlman, nobody cares what Bruce says. He hollers at the referee the other day, SEC tournament, the split his face got redder than a beet. I mean, Bruce, you're retired. Can you sit down and relax? And you're retired. 65, go get your Social Security. Okay, you're retired. We see you. We don't need you on the air talking about basketball. You didn't know much anyway. You're Bruce the cheater. He cheated his whole life. So, I mean, what's the difference? I mean,
well, he was on ESPN before. Now he's on CBS. He's very charismatic.
I don't know why they put him on there.
That would be an issue with CBS.
Well,
so,
yeah, I was going to say, the thing I don't like about CBS is putting Kenny Smith and Charlie. They don't know nothing about all they know is the NBA. So that's another thing. But I mean, it's they're gonna play the tournament. It's gonna be fun. But what I wanted to ask you is, should Bama play Aiden Holloway? Yes or no?
Well, I read the statement. As of right now, it does not look like Aiden Holloway is even a student.
Well, that's
on campus.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. So, but no. You think? I was going to ask you, the SEC got 10 in. Is that too many or too little?
I think that's about right. Yeah. What the SEC got 10, Big 10 got 9, ACC got 8, Big 12 got 8. That feels about right to me. Yeah.
I mean, Missouri and A&M got high, got 10, 11. I asked you, were you surprised the Lady Vols got in at the 10?
I have not looked at the women's bracket. I don't want to sit here and pretend that I've studied up on the women's bracket. I have not.
They got a 10. They play NC State.
I think Alabama is a 6.
Yeah,
I think I remember reading that, but
they got a 10. They were saying that if they didn't get in, Caldwell should have been fired, which I don't think they should have been, but they got in because they were Tennessee. That's just the way that's the way it goes. But no, we'll see. I mean, I think that that they've got it set up again. If it were to happen, that they could play in the regionals again, Kentucky and Tennessee. Because I think Miami, Ohio is going to beat Tennessee in the first round. I don't think they're even going to get out of the first round. But like I told somebody, Rick Barnes is a gift that keeps on giving. When you blow 3 double-digit leads, 2 to Kentucky and 1 to Alabama, I don't know why people think he's such a great coach, but if y'all think that way, you can have him on the sidelines forever. His dead carcass will be over coaching for all I care. His lifetime contract. So, we'll see. Like I said, I'd rather have Mark Pope or Joe Blow any day at any other university. So, y'all hang in there, guys. See y'all.
He gone.
Always such a happy personality right there. He is such a joy. Yeah, you can hear the joy in his voice. I was reading
one of my textbooks last night about the difference between libel and slander. It's an interesting read there in communication law.
Okay, so tell you what, we've only got about 40 minutes left in the program today, and it's just me and you as well as Brian Temple back at the station as well. So feel free to call in, and I'm going to go through a little bit of this research from ESPN to help out your bracket. And because maybe I can definitely learn a thing or two. Although last year's bracket, it was all number 1 seeds. And I picked that last year, although I did not pick the champion. I think my champion last year was Houston, and they lost in the national championship to Florida. So we'll see what happens this go around as we get ready for the first 4 that starts tomorrow. Now, on the subject of tomorrow, first 4, that coverage will start on Talk Radio WZZN, because on the Division II level, I'm surprised Jeff didn't call me D2 again. He loves to call me D2, and I'm fine with that. We've got Sweet 16 action for you as the UH Chargers taking on Nova Southeastern, the number 1 basketball team in the country and the defending champs. Played them within 8 back in November when I was down here. But here we go with the Sweet 16 and a chance to move on to the Elite 8. And that would be for the 3rd time in program history. We'll see what happens in that regard. Go through some notes from the research department there at the Worldwide Leader on the other side. And if you got some questions, comments, and just want to join in, feel free to hop on in to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. It is a Monday edition of The Drive. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Layton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
AL number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490. Or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
No Wi-Fi?
How are we going to stream the game?
Mom, I have a research project due.
How are we going to make dinner? Don't let power outages send your family into a meltdown. Get a Generac generator from Current Electrical. We keep your lights on and your Wi-Fi on. Visit gensuperstore.com or call 256-880-1880. Trust us, your family will thank you.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
March Madness. Best sporting event on earth, better than the Super Bowl, World Series.
Better than the World Cup.
Missed free throws, that's what kills you.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Dancing indeed this time of year. Glad that liner played right there, because one stat that I do look at, I know stats can be deceiving, but one stat that I look at from a team standpoint is free throw percentage, because free throws are a big deal this time of year. So it's something I look at. Free throw percentage is something I look at team-wise. And on that in particular, since we're going to analytics, let's see here. Vanderbilt is the 4th highest free throw shooting team in the nation. What are some other teams of note that are up here? Wisconsin, that's a team that could their win at Michigan was very impressive. And I know they were humming on all cylinders, and they haven't always done that. But that game at Michigan earlier in the year, that was a fun game to watch. What other teams am I looking at here? At Alabama, by the way, 40th in the nation in free throw percentage at 76.5%. So let's take a look analytically just from the ESPN fine folks that plug into their super duper computers up there in Bristol and see exactly what they have given as information out there that might help you, that might help me. So highest percentage chance to win the men's basketball championship this season. That goes to the Duke Blue Devils from the Atlantic Coast Conference. It is the second straight season that ESPN Analytics has deemed Duke as your odds-on favorite. Didn't work out so well last year. The percentage chance for Duke to cut down the nets in Indy is 24.4%. That is followed by Michigan at 15.3%. I noticed they struggled pretty good there against Ohio State. Arizona at 14%, Houston at 9.4%, and the first SEC team, say it with me, is Florida, even despite the fact that Vanderbilt played really well against the Gators on Saturday. Florida at 7.7%, then Iowa State at 6%. So the preseason favorite, as I mentioned, Duke was favored last year. And remember, last year, it was all one seeds, making it, I think it was the first time since 2008. Duke did make the Final Four. The previous year, it was Houston was the preseason favorite. They made the Sweet 16, so even less. The last time, Auburn fans earmuff it, 2019, Virginia is the last team that was the pre-tournament favorite, according to ESPN Analytics, that actually won the tournament in 2019. And yes, I'm sure Auburn fans vividly remember that trip to Minneapolis, Minnesota. So when you take a look at these favorites, it does give you like a little sample size of, none of these teams are ousted early. It's at least Sweet 16. Gonzaga was a favorite. Back in 21, they were a runner-up that year. So, again, just to go through the list so you have it again, for those maybe, pay attention to the road or wasn't listening, Duke is your favorite, followed by Michigan, Arizona, Houston, Florida, and Iowa State. I've not seen a whole lot of Iowa State. Your pre-tournament favorite to win the championship, again, last year was Duke. They made the Final Four, and we'll see what happens this year with the Duke Blue Devils. But let's see here. I love these analytics. Feels like I'm nerding out in math class right here. Highest percentage chance to win the men's basketball championship, Big Ten by season. This is just for the Big Ten. Michigan is your highest seed there to potentially win it all from the Big Ten. Highest percentage chance to reach the Final Four, 3 seeds or lower this season. Okay, so this is where it gets a little fun in terms of those teams that could make a run, be it from the Midwest, the East, the West, or the South. The team that ESPN Analytics likes the most is Illinois. Illinois, out of the Big Ten in their bracket, they're in the South. They also analytically like Gonzaga. They're a 3 seed. So again, this is 3 seed or lower. Michigan State is another 3 seed that ESPN Analytics likes. They're another a little bit lower. ESPN Analytics likes Alabama. Again, to cut down the nets. This is probably not factoring in the Aiden Holloway situation, I'm guessing. But right now, ESPN Analytics has Alabama at an 8.1% chance to cut down the nets. And then Arkansas is next at 7%. The Hogs are in the West bracket. Of course, Alabama's in the Midwest, in case I did not say that. So, Sweet 16. This is what makes this tournament so much fun to watch and be a part of, is the upsets. There's one part of the bracket that just goes bluey. It just seemingly always happens, but towards the end, we reel back where a lot of the higher seeds start to take control, where you don't always have that George Mason run, whatever the case may be. So at least one double-digit seed has reached the Sweet 16 in 17 straight NCAA tournaments. Last year, 7 double-digit seeds had at least a 6.3 chance to reach the Sweet 16, including, remember, Arkansas last year was a 10 seed, and that was at the time that Boogie Flan was just coming back, and that was a team that I really liked, and they did make a run. A little bit of controversy, I believe, I think it was the Sweet 16 game for Arkansas last year. Let's move over to this year. Highest percentage chance to reach the men's Sweet 16 as a double-digit seed. And the top 2 have SEC next to their name. Missouri is the top team, according to ESPN Analytics. Now, Missouri is in the West, but Missouri is at 6.2%, followed by Texas A&M. Texas A&M is in the South at 6%. ESPN Analytics also likes SMU out of the Midwest, a 5% chance to reach the Sweet 16. VCU at 4.9%, and then High Point at 4.3%, and that would be quite the story. I've not seen a whole lot of High Point. So we all want to look at some double digits and see what kind of shakes out. So again, that's Missouri, Texas A&M, SMU, VCU, and High Point. Again, according to ESPN Analytics. Some notable first-round games. 9 seed Utah State is right now a favorite over 8 seed Villanova. That is the only lower seed favored to win their first-round matchup, according to ESPN Analytics. Although another 8-9 matchup is really close, Clemson is just barely a favorite over Scott Tyson's Iowa Hawkeyes. Clemson is a 50.6% favorite over 9 seed Iowa. So, again, that's Utah State and Villanova. That's a 9 over an 8. Clemson and Iowa, literally a coin flip. Most likely upsets in the first round by seed this season? Well, this should be most unlikely upsets, because right now they're giving Long Island a 1% chance of beating Arizona. And that may be, I'm surprised it's not 0.1 more than anything. Wright State, it has a 7% chance against Virginia. Hofstra is at 9.9% against Alabama in their first round matchup. And you heard Nate Oates mention their offense, especially in the twos, when they're scoring at a high level. We've already gone through a couple of the double digits in terms of those teams to look at. Texas A&M taking on Mount St. Mary's, and Texas A&M at a 46.8% chance. Of course, it's buckyball there for the Aggies. They have struggled a little bit here down the stretch. Utah State at 51% again over Villanova, and that is the only lower seed that has a higher percentage to win over a higher seed. So Utah State the 9, Villanova the 8. Hope this is helping. It's helping me. Your national championship value bets, if you are inclined to drive up to Tennessee, and place $1 or $2. As of right now, the best odds, a little bit long, is Houston at 10-1, followed by Purdue at 25-1, Gonzaga at 40-1, Tennessee at 120-1, and the Alabama Crimson Tide at 180-1 in terms of value bets, according to ESPN Analytics. Something to look at, just something to chew on. Have you done your bracket yet, Brian? Are you going to do a bracket, Brian?
I historically don't do one. A couple of times I've done one in the past. I have done it completely by which mascots I like best. And it works as well as anything else.
There's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, because that there is this is what happens in these office pools, where there was one year my wife won. My wife won our bracket challenge, and I'll never forget the troll saying, "Yeah, we can't give her the grand prize."
Well,
and she still reminds me to this very day.
Well, I would imagine so. But I mean, also, one year I did it just because of the names. This stuck in my head. That's how come I always ask about Valparaiso and Gonzaga.
Yep.
Valpo. Got to know about Valpo.
Yep. So, hope that helped a little bit. I'm getting another spam call.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that not the troll?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. The amount of spam calls.
It's a troll of a different color.
I cannot be the only one getting this amount of spam calls.
I've gotten
it
3 just this segment. That's why I've been off the mic a lot.
I cannot tell you the amount of spam calls that I'm getting.
By the way,
one of them.
By the way, there's a great opportunity for this radio station to improve what they get from Medicare. The ladies called me twice.
I get that call too.
Mm.
And then, do I want to sell my home? So.
Oh, see, those are my favorite, because right now we've been getting calls at my house and texts, and mostly texts actually, about wanting to sell a house that I have not owned since 2007. The walkthrough is going to be really awkward.
Very, very, especially since the people don't know that's happening. Yes,
I'll just say this. If someone's going to show you a house on Cassandra Avenue, call me first.
If you'd like to chime in and you're not a spam caller, 256.
Heck, at this point, be a spam caller, 256-576-4977. We'll put you on the air.
We do have.
We had a great call. What was it, last week? Where we did some education about great music.
Yeah.
We really expanded someone's universe. Maybe they'll call.
We shall see.
3 lines, no waiting.
256-576-4977, the telephone number. And again, for those that may just be hopping into your car, don't forget we'll be over at Field Day on Thursday. And that's going to be an all-day affair over there on Field Day, watching some hoops, giving away some stuff, some fabulous prizes.
Yeah, also,
they're from Field Day.
Go ahead and go to our website and fill out your bracket, too. You have until Thursday at 11:15 a.m. Central Time to get that. They're going to lock it down after that, because that's when the first game tips off. So get in there. You got you can't win if you don't enter. So go ahead and compete with us. There's already a bunch of people in there. You've probably got the winning bracket. Why don't you go ahead and fill it out? 977ESPN.com. one of those little slider things right there in the middle of the screen. You'll see it.
Well, and I'll try to convince my wife to be a part of it as well. Although when she did not win the prize, she took it very personally. And you know what? If I've never, last year I did well, but I've never won.
Did you pick
the bracket challenge?
You pick Valpo?
What's that?
Did you pick Valpo?
I did not.
Valparaiso?
No, I did not.
See that? Maybe that was it.
That probably would have
I don't think
gotten me over the hump.
Whatever.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll take our final time out. Final call for phone calls, walking you up to Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show. That is on the other side. It is a Monday edition of The Drive right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Leighton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Your Fox 54 weather.
At Fox 54 weather impact meteorologist Emily Owen, a freeze warning will go into effect late tonight due to temperatures falling into the mid and upper 20s for the overnight. We'll continue to sit under a clear sky. Heading into our Tuesday, mostly sunshine, temperatures warm into the mid 40s for the afternoon.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Final call for phone calls here on a Monday. I do wonder if Auburn fans wince a little bit every time they hear about a freeze warning. Maybe not. I know that's a little bit in the past right now and trying to look forward to the goalish era coming up.
McFreeze with cheese.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens to old Hugh Freeze. I don't think he's done coaching, but at the highest level, yeah, probably. But we'll, meaning Big Ten and SEC and that type of opportunities, I think that's gone by the wayside. But we'll see. And on the subject of the Big Ten, they put in a request to the NCAA. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago in a report from Yahoo Sports' insider Ross Dellinger about the tampering issues that are happening. Well, the Big Ten called for a moratorium on tampering related to investigations in a letter addressed to the president of the NCAA. And of course, that'd be Charlie Baker. And according to the NCAA spokesperson, Megan Wright, telling Pete Nakos of On3, confirming that there have been no changes in tampering rules and there is no moratorium on enforcement activity for possible tampering violations. Any changes to the infractions process or even a moratorium on enforcement of certain rules would need to be approved by the Division I Board of Directors. The NCAA is committed to enforcing the rules as agreed by the NCAA member schools and will always work with members to ensure fair competition to protect student athletes' well-being in this new era of college sports. I mean, tampering is going to happen from now until the end of time. There's always going to be an Uncle Billy or, some person who's related of just a casual conversation. It's just that point of contact that's always going to be there. And I wish I knew a solution. I would tell you a solution, but tampering is going to happen. It just is. But to try to reel it back a little bit, to show maybe some consequences here and there. And that goes back, honestly, to me, to what Brett Yormark had to say. It was, a week ago Friday? Did we get an executive order from Donald Trump? I did not read anything about the executive order that was... the president said it in the press conference. That was a week ago Friday, that it was going to happen that following week. Maybe I missed it. But the point that on the tampering issue that I think doesn't get nearly talked about enough is what Brett Yormark had to say, and that's on the agents themselves.
I am, and representing the Big 12, we are very much in favor of the SCORE Act. I like to say it's progress over perfection, and it provides no different than what Commissioner Phillips said, the core principles of what we need to move this thing forward. One thing that we didn't discuss so far today was athlete protection rights, which is obviously part of the SCORE Act. And there's a component there about regulating sports agents. that we need to really look at. Now, I know we have some agents in the room, and I have a lot of respect for that industry. But right now, they are taking full advantage of our student athletes. Usually in the NBA or the NFL, it's a 3 to 4, maybe 5% commission. In some cases, they're charging over 20. We talked about the portal. Most agents are pushing our student athletes into the portal, and the recent numbers show that over 40% don't even find a home once they get into the portal. And because they're being pushed into the portal, and Mr. Sankey said it earlier, they're losing credits towards their degrees. So we have a problem on our hands, obviously. And I don't believe in perfection. I do believe in progress. And I think the SCORE Act is a great first step for us to move forward. And on behalf of the Big 12 Conference, we are all in favor of it. And we'd like to see a sense of urgency. We need something done soon. Because if not, our university is going to suffer, our student athletes will suffer, and we need help.
I think it was worth playing again. I know I've got a couple people on a hold, but that's the part that does not get nearly talked about enough. Jim has been holding patiently. Appreciate your patience. Jim, how are you?
Okay, Steve. We're sitting out here in the parking lot waiting to go into the UAH game with Eckerd.
Come on now.
Yeah. And I wanted to. Joe Hunk was really pumping up. He filled in for Tom Abraham today. He's really pumping. He's calling this the girls' college game of the century out here. So
this is the first time it has ever happened in program history on the women's side. They've never gotten past the first round until this go around. But I will tell you, Eckerd, I mean, just looking at what they have done, and especially what they did to Union, it feels like Lily's going to need to go off. Millie's going to need to go off. And I'll even say Paris Opelt. Just the entire – you know what, Ivy? I'm looking at you too. So they've got to play a clean game. You know who I'm rooting for, but it's I hope it's a good atmosphere because both of those teams deserve that over at SportsMet Arena.
I hope so. One comment: I've been watching the replays of your interviews after subsequent games, and you need to tell the coaches and particularly the players to get closer to the microphone. It's kind of hard to pick up what they're saying there.
So the recorder that I use is kind of a two-way mic, and I stick it right in front of Coach Hedge, and the two players are on either side. Now, I bet you could hear Bryce very eloquently, but Matt Thurman, he kind of a little bit of a low talker, if I can use a Seinfeld term. So I understand what you're saying, Jim, but it's a case where I can only do so much.
I know. They've got Joe's interviews up here. They're using lapel mics, so they pick up a lot better that way. But anyway,
I wish I had that access.
It's a lot colder up here than it is where you are, I bet.
You know what? I don't want to. I've on purpose steered away from how beautiful it is down here just because I know there's nothing wrong with a little spring break snow.
A little snow in the break. That's right. Okay, well, listen, we're going to get in. You have fun, and good luck to the team tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll go Chargers tonight as well. Appreciate the call.
Okay.
It's 84 degrees here. Johnny is on a cell. How are you, Johnny?
Good. A couple of things. You'd think we paid Aiden Holloway enough so he wouldn't have to go sell pot to augment his salary.
Wow.
Next thing is, look, if the NCAA, the heck with the SCORE Act. All they have to do is implement academic standards back to the game, and they could eliminate 60% of the transfer portal crap. If you made a freshman have 24 hours credit hours with a C average before he could enter the portal, 48 as a sophomore, 72 as a junior, you would cut some of this crap out, and these kids would actually then have to be student athletes again in order to get paid. And, that's a rant, but look, I'm all for them getting paid. I would love to see 2-year contracts. I would love to see no buyouts on these 2-year contracts. And the only way you can leave is if is either a health condition or a coach, your head coach leaves the program. Other than that, stick to your word, go to school, go to classes, and then enter the portal. And it would certainly solve a lot of the issues these coaches have in having to recruit their entire roster 365 days a year, and these agents going, enter the portal, I'll get you more money. I'm out.
Johnny, I don't disagree with anything you said.
It was not that long ago where, you were getting paid to play a sport at your university. It was called your tuition, and you played, and it got that stuff. I mean, you got
and as
your dorm paid for, you got food plan paid for, all the stuff. Yeah, you got paid. You got paid to go there and be your best for that school. Now, I'm not saying
I had to contribute. And, I was fortunate that my parents helped me a great deal, but I had to pay a portion of my tuition as well. So, I did in a grand tradition to my family. I paid my own way through school, and that was, while I did not see it as an 18-year-old, I see it now as something that was valuable because I had a lot. I was throwing away my money at that point if I was screwing around. And so we've gotten away from that aesthetic, from that idea, and got into where we're just going to, I'm not a free agent. The school is just an excuse. It's just like any other uniform that you wear to go play. So I think until either we make it completely professional and not necessarily tied to a university, or we make it entirely tied to the university and take the professional out of it, I think that nothing's going to change. Now, I agree. But there is real value on the name Alabama or the name Auburn.
Absolutely.
There is a lot of value on that.
But look how many people have gone and cashed in on that value after they have a degree and they played for the school. I mean, we work for a guy who 30 years later is still almost 40 years later is still has value because he played at Alabama. I mean, forget the fact that he played the Oilers and everywhere else. He's still an Alabama player.
Yeah.
And so I admit that maybe you get a little handshake with a little extra something in it every so often. But I mean, okay, that's fine. But you can't do it professionally. And personally, I have curiosity. I'm really curious if someone at 18 years old is a rare person at 18 years old is ready to handle something on that level of a professional.
And
it sounds like, talking about the different agents and stuff, they're being victimized. They're being victimized by people that do not have their interest in mind.
I would imagine you're probably going to get some kind of statement from Nate Oates tonight in regards to the Aiden Holloway situation. Of course, the university came out with a statement saying that he is no longer a student while they are conducting the investigation. Something to keep an eye on there. Then after Hey Coach, we'll have what Joe Hunk has referred to as the game of the century, the UAH women taking on Eckerd. I'll be back tomorrow to preview the men's side of the Sweet 16. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Layton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000